Hi everyone, welcome to chapter 4 and 5 of RIME for the PlayStation 4. Today is just gonna be me, Big Boss. Moment is out of town, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna watch this episode unfold. And Moment and I already recorded this, so he knows the outcome of the story. Needless to say, we were quiet throughout this chapter, just watching everything that was happening. There was one conversation that him and I had when playing these games. So when we get to that point, I'm going to resume and try to bring the essence of what the commentary was about and what he was thinking and I was thinking. And other than that, stick around for after the end credits and as we try to unravel this story of RIME. Enjoy. So when we get to this point, we saw the statues, and the first time I played it, I just made this. I guess what I was thinking was that the statue represented the mother. So my intake at that point when I was talking to Moment was that my thinking was that the whole king queen stuff was just ima- imaginatory, like that was not happening. That this kid lives in the real world, and the king and queen, that's just how mom and dad treated each other. And then since the mom had passed away, that perhaps the kid was just locked up in some closet, crying, and having all these things going through his head. And the people that we're seeing, like those shadow people, I was telling them that I was thinking that those probably were like real people, perhaps at the funeral, and they were just like just walking around, and whenever they were trying to attack you, I was thinking that that's probably the way that those people will see the kid, maybe blaming the kid for the death of the mother, something like that. So that's what I was thinking at this point. Moment, in the other hand, he, because I was trying to bring it to like reality, like this fantasy world doesn't exist. And Moment, in the other hand, he was actually sticking to the fairy tale part. So Moment was saying that he thought that he was still thinking that there was a king and a queen, and then ultimately, the prince left, and he was on the search for the mother. So regardless of uh, what I could have be thinking, talking throughout this chapter, Moment was like, this is ultimately a game. I'm thinking that he's still, this is a fairy tale, and this kid is lost, wants to find his way home, and and at the end of the game, we're gonna find it. So this is where we were at this point. And like I said, stick around after the end credits, and we'll talk more about the details that went on to this game. Alright guys, so that was RIME for the PlayStation 4. Now when I finished this video with Moment, he did not get what was going on, and this time I have limited time to talk about it, so we're just gonna jump right in. So at the time I talked to Moment, I told him like, okay, well let's just start with what we know, because there's a theory going around that says that the video game that you played is basically the kid going through purgatory, in which basically is going from death to heaven. So, uh, like I said, let's start with what we know. The dad and the child went to a fishing trip, and there was a storm, and it led to the kid drowning and the kid died. So that we know, the fact that the child died on this tragedy. So like I said, people think about, what we played is basically purgatory. We're actually playing the child. But if you check on the chapter select, and the only way to find out the name of the chapters are if you actually go back and replay it, because the name of the chapters don't pop out. We played chapter 4 and 5, and we never saw an indication that we went from one to the other. So if you look at the chapter select, they're broken into 5 chapters, which is denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. And we just play depression and acceptance. So those are the what is known as the 5 stages of grief. So if you have something traumatic event in your life, these are the 5 stages that you will go through. You will go through a denial first, and then you go through anger, bargaining, depression, and then to the acceptance. So having said that, and based on the name of the chapters, I was telling Mo that I believe that what we just played is basically what is going through the father's head. So the first chapter, which is denial, if you notice, everything is green, pretty, positive, everything is beautiful. So the state of mind of the father of a denial, that he believes that his son did not die, he did not drown, but rather he washed away to an island, to where like he eventually gonna find them. And if you notice, we're gonna be talking about those black spirits a lot, but the black spirits that we encounter in the game, when we first encounter them, they don't want to face you. Like whenever like you are nearby, they turn around, they cover their faces, they look away, and if you get close to them, they just leave, and they leave and disappear, almost like they are on denial. They do not want to face the fact of reality. When we go on later on, you go into the second stage, when is anger, and the spirits, at one point they wanna attack you. They wanna, in chapter 3, when they're trying to suck you in, and it seems like the ghost is. They show that like later on in the chapter. Like I said, they're on bargaining, on the chapter on bargaining. They're trying to suck you in. They're trying to drag you in, kind of like to sink you into a state of depression. Uh, like on anger, like the bird is trying to hurt the child. You know what I'm saying? So we are on the state where like we are angry, like why me, and why would you do this to me, and things like that. And when we are like at the end, actually at the end of the chapter of bargaining, when we at the end of the cinematic, when the child is the one who's trying to help the dad, and the dad is ultimately the one that wash away. Well, that's bargaining, like the father who would rather take the place for the child. Like, I wish it would have been me who died and not you, but that's not the case. But that's once again, that's the state of mind that the father was going through. And as you can probably see, like the depression, everything is gloomy, everything is dark, it's raining, and you set the tone, and then finally, the acceptance. So, uh, like I said, the black spirits, I think that the black spirits are uh, feelings, like feelings that are going inside the father, and like I said, at one point they're afraid, at one point they're attacking, and then in the acceptance and the depression, they're just kind of just ignoring it, kind of like just like meh. I mean, they're just there, like not really doing anything. I was thinking about this morning about the salt statues, and I was thinking like, dang, like I don't know to like at what point like certain feelings just like turn to salt or like just harden you inside, like I said, because it's like something that the father is feeling. It just hardens inside, and kind of like a piece of you just dies. And at the end, when everything is jumping, excuse me, when everything is just jumping, it's just the father letting go of those feelings. um, and the final state is acceptance, because ultimately you don't get over it. You just accept the fact and move on. You never get over it. You just accept it and continue on living. We're gonna end this video. There's so much to think about, but this is what I thought. What do you think? We're gonna end up with the song Lullaby, uh, a song that you get if you collect certain collectibles. But it's such a good way to end this video. I hope that you enjoy this game and that it meant something to you.
Viento a viento va, durmiendo al sol. Un guiño de luz se perdió. Tu cuerpo se hace vientre, estatua transparente. En la arena oscura esperarás. Viento a viento va, bailando el mar. Esta sola voz se quebró. Pájaros de sal, ciegos de llorar, vuelven a volar. Viento a viento va este pequeño temblor que jamás gritó. A la luz, al sol, a la lluvia, a la voz, al aire, al final. Y así este viento va girando. Y así este viento va, se fue. Y así este niño